Hi, everybody. Welcome to Giant TV. I'm Paul Hitchcock, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. We're helping others to grow and nurture their businesses with AI. Love it. And we're here with Kimberly Lane Roberts. I have guests on here who are doing amazing things, and certainly Kimberly is one of them. Vistage Chair and running the only chief entrepreneur leadership group here in the Bay Area. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to be here. Yes.
Yeah, and what we're talking about, I just want to jump right into this, is you had just an absolutely awesome event recently with all female entrepreneurs here in the Bay Area. We collaborated on that. You did a lot of work making sure that thing was a success. So I want to talk about that event. And before we get there, a little bit about your group, and then let's get into that event.
Sure. I also I'm a trusted executive coach on the side too, for those people that aren't an ideal fit at the moment for the peer group. And in the peer group, you also get coaching as well. But I was approached by Vista to be a chair, and I saw a need for a leadership group for founders or entrepreneurs. And so
Yep.
my group uniquely is a chief entrepreneur peer group. There is no other one in the Bay Area like mine. Mine is mainly founders of their organizations. I do have one appointed CEO, but he acts kind of like an entrepreneur, like it was his baby, so he
Yep.
fits right in. Um, in additionally too, when I was first starting my peer group, I was looking at women. Why? Because there were very few women in Vistage, and there's
Yep.
very few women chairs to begin with. And so I wanted to be a chair because I wanted more women to have access to these types of resources. I say, kind of the resources that will help your business soar and the connections that help your soul.
Yep.
So I have really been very happy with the members I recruited. I'm 50% women. I'm up to 13 now, and with your assistance, we're going to get up to 18 here relatively quickly. It's you have to be vulnerable. That's part of the group. We have a lot of fun, but we not only talk about our goals, but we actually accomplish them. So
What? Yeah, fantastic. You and I have gotten a chance to know each other for a lot about your group, all good things. And Kimberly, just on a note there, you're meeting every month as a group, and then you're doing one-to-ones between those monthlies. Is that right?
Yeah, the meeting goes from 9 to 3 at a particular place. Whoever's hosting the meeting, if you will, it's usually a member that hosts the meeting, and they showcase their business while they're hosting the meeting, and they get really a great opportunity to express their challenges and have the group. Imagine 17 other people sharing with you their expertise and their knowledge and insights to help you deal with your challenges. So that's the meeting once a month, and then every member also gets up to 2 hours of coaching with me once a month too.
That's great. You really get into the trenches on the one-to-ones and talk about whatever's going on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's everything's a confidential space. So a member may share something with me within our one-on-ones, but that does not get shared with the larger group unless they choose to share it. Just like whatever's discussed in the meeting from any business perspective, financial perspective, that's all kept confidential within the group as well. So.
Love it. Love it. Well, I want to talk about your event now. So, what was you had this idea for this event. How did that start?
How'd that start? I definitely want to recruit more females to the group, to my peer advisory group.
Yeah,
Obviously for coaching too, but just the peer advisory group. I think they get the coaching, but they also get that holistic uh, community too, in connection with other people that have other resources and access to other people, for their business. Um, and women buy differently than men. I'm making a huge generalization, but men are typically logical. When I'm in this process of recruiting, if you find a need, they're lonely, they are looking for accountability, they really want to scale their business, their chief everything officer. If I can hit one of those points in my discussion, and authentically sense that that's what they need, they're kind of like, oh, sure, I'll sign up. Whereas
yeah,
women really need to build that relationship of trust, and I buy the same way myself. So I try to meet them exactly where they are and what I would like to have happen in order for me to participate in something, right, that I'm going to be spending money on. So
for
that's
sure.
kind of where the thought process came about why don't I host like a happy hour, but in that process have some kind of leadership engagement, networking opportunity for a couple hours for the women to come in, hear a little bit about the peer advisory group, and then actually experience what we would typically do in the peer advisory group as far as a breakout sessions and sharing and getting to know other people, and then have of a networking event afterwards. So I am a partner with the Predictive Index. And for those of you that are not familiar with that, the Predictive Index is an excellent tool uh, for 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 two reasons actually. One, it's kind of giving you insight like a Disc would or a Myers-Briggs or Strength Finders, but it goes one step further that I like in the essence. It tells you who your natural drives are, but it
Yeah.
also will share with you how you are showing up in your work environment or wherever you spend most of your time. And if those two things are off, that's what creates stress for people. Or if you're not operating in your work life like you typically are in your drives, then maybe you're not in the right role. So it becomes a really good tool for leaders to really understand, are they in the right role, and are there tweaks we can make to minimize that stress, or create a role for you that's more engaging, or have you spend more time doing the things you love that drive you versus and delegate the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
So it becomes a very powerful tool in a short amount of time. In 6 minutes, I get this wealth of information about a person, and it's really kind of scary because it's really two questions, I just get so much information from it. So I used that tool. All the women took the assessment, and I knew if they took the assessment, they would show up. And it happened. One person didn't take the assessment; they did not show up. So
Well, let me ask you, let me stop you. Let me ask you that because it all started with you got the list together. We were working on a list for you of female entrepreneurs, a very tight list. And then the outreach happened. And, there's a landing page we built for you, which was great. You
landing page
added a
was
lot
awesome.
of,
Yeah,
yeah, your input for that. So people were going to the landing site to RSVP. And then when they RSVP'd is when you gave them the questionnaire, right? The
correct.
intake form. Yeah. So they signed up, got the questionnaire, filled it out, and the ones that did showed up. So then how many people did you have there at the event?
I want to say I had 13 registered and I had 12. Three
Great.
women were people that knew that I've been chasing after, so they came. And then one was a friend. So then I probably, as far as prospects, it was probably about 8 prospects that came in. Yeah, and
Which
one
is
didn't show. Yeah. So,
yeah, which is
um, yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, I mean, you kind of go through these hurdles of the process. Like, okay, you did a great job on the landing page. Okay, done. Then we start sending out the invites, and like you're waiting for someone to sign up, and then oh my gosh, somebody signed up. Then you're waiting for them to take the assessment. Oh, they took the assessment, and then then you're chasing people. Um, all the way to the like 2 hours before the event to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure, are they gonna come? Are
Yep.
they gonna come? Are they gonna walk through the door? Are they gonna show up? Right. So that was probably the best event I've ever done, as far as
Fantastic.
people actually showing up.
Yep. Yep.
But and the feedback I got, which was really interesting, was the wo- well, the feedback I got from the women were, wow, this was a phenomenal event. They felt the women that were there were very in peer, like, where they were in their businesses, even though they were in different businesses, but very intriguing, driven, intelligent, warm, real
Yep.
people. But I've never had an event where the everybody just blended so well. It was
Oh,
just
that's
very
great.
interesting where everybody
Yeah.
belonged in that room and added to that room. There wasn't if you want to call it weak link or anybody kind of
Yeah.
really out. They were all in a very um, uh, just yeah, it was just beautiful. That to me I've never had,
What a
and
great
because
feeling.
we together curated that list. It was very specific. I think we only had 20 people to start with, so everybody, yeah, that was interesting to me that everybody just kind of really fit together and really meshed together, and even though they were young and old and different businesses and different revenue, they just all really meshed.
Oh, that's great. And you had an Italian restaurant, I know Piatti, because we live in the same town. It was awesome. And then you sat around a table and then it was what, 2 hours long?
Yeah, 3 to 5 was
Three to
the
five. Okay.
leadership workshop, and then 5 to 6:30 was happy hour.
Happy hour. Okay. And And people, they were just really mixing with each other and getting to know each other, and there was just that vibe going on there. It wasn't you just sitting up talking the whole time.
Well, no, because I did a brief introduction about the group and why I put this thing on, that I really believe, so many women don't have access to the resources or don't know about the resources that men have. And I feel like,
Right.
it's merely just knowledge, right? And exposure. So that was the intent. And then I used the predictive index and I divided everybody into four groups, and we went through the predictive index, and so they would have to sit with three other women maybe, and or two other women, and share what their feelings were around their predictive index. I would ask different questions about that. Do you prefer to be a collaborator, or do you prefer to be taking charge? And they'd have to share all that information, and then we'd share with the larger group. Then so we did four different breakouts in that course of the hour and a half. So
Yeah.
that's how they got to mingle and to really get to know each other, was during those breakout exercises.